So we're going to dive quickly into a particular village. This is Kagi, and that's it in the photo there. It is a village that does not have road access to anywhere else. It has an airport, and that's fortunate for it because there are some villages that don't even have airports. A lot of the analysis across communities depends on whether they have access to the outside world, so whether there's a road and an airport or just an airport, or neither. What you see there on the graph, just quickly, is that the largest portion of income is from tourism. That includes payments from the Kokoda Track Authority, who take fees from the trekking companies and pass them on, but it also includes sale of things. In the blue, that's market sales in Port Moresby and the village. Some of that's tourism related. And then the green is remittances from family members who are living outside. And interestingly enough, that's quite small because in some cases up to 60% of the population is living outside of the village, and yet the remittances are not large. Assets in terms of the age groups, mostly adults with then school age and non-school age children, making up just slightly less than half. The majority are still in the village, but there's a very large red section there that are living in Port Moresby. So this village is at about 1,400 metres above sea level. There's a lot of primary forest still, so you can see there's reasonably good conservation in that space, but then secondary forest shows areas that have been used. The airstrip is key here because it's the way in and out. There's an elementary school and an aid post. Kids can walk to a lower and upper primary school. The elementary school in PNG is preschool. And the secondary boarding school would be in the main provincial town. I'll show you this slide just to give you a sense of the range of stakeholders involved in this community. So you've got what was at that stage when this study was done, AusAid, but DFAT, Department of Environment and Conservation, Kokoda Development Program, Kokoda Track Authority, Kokoda Track Foundation, which is an NGO that specialises in working in Kokoda, national government, sub-national government, PNG law and justice sector, tour companies. It's a small village, it's relatively isolated, but all these people and all these organisations, actors, have an interest. Internally, then you have the clan groups, you have community-based mentors, some of which are coming out of the Kokoda Track Authority. You have local government and you have local church. Livelihood strategies going on in this community. There are subsistence activities, gardening, fishing, hunting, and collecting of firewood and non-timber forest products. Market sales in Port Moresby or the village itself, either to tourists or the reverse people, porters who move backwards and forwards up the trail with their work, carrying on some business activities as part of that, and then part-time tourist activities. So guest houses in this village, there are 5 that are part of the KTA certification program. You'll note there that the village has now found itself not on the main trekking thoroughfare, and so that's another factor. Some of the broader issues out there, climate change factors, social issues, and political trends that particularly have impact around use of resources. This was from a study looking at livelihoods, and the key conclusions were that there needed to be an acceptable and realistic work program for growing local economic opportunities, and that it needed to be a collaborative exercise.